I never thought I'd wake up in my mother's body, staring at my own reflection in the bathroom mirror of that McMansion she called home. Her Botox-smooth skin stretched tight over cheekbones that weren't mine, her manicured nails digging into the marble sink as I whispered, "This is for you, Mom, for choosing them over me." But that's exactly what happened on the night I drove back to Willow Creek, Ohio. After 3 years of scraping by in Cleveland motels, fueled by a rage that had fermented into something sharper, deadlier, a plan I'd pieced together from whispers in dark web forums and a desperate pact with a con artist who swore body swaps were real, not just Hollywood bullshit. I'd always been the invisible daughter, the one she tossed aside like yesterday's takeout when she married Richard Hargrove, the pharma exec with his trust fund brats who treated me like roadkill.
Now,
as her heartbeat thrummed in my chest, faster, erratic, laced with her hidden panic attacks, I felt the power shift. The first crack in the facade she'd built to bury her sins.
And, oh,
how I'd make her pay, one stolen breath at a time. It started with the eviction notice. But let's rewind to the hook that snagged my soul. The day Mom handed me a duffel bag stuffed with my clothes and a Greyhound ticket, her voice cracking like cheap crystal as she said, "Clara, they're family now. You have to understand." Understand? I'd covered for her affair with Richard for 2 years, lying to Dad about her late nights at the office while she climbed into his bed, erasing our old life in a haze of Chanel No. 5 and mortgage payments. I'd taken the fall for the shoplifting charge when his daughter, Becca, swiped that diamond necklace from the mall, cops dragging me away in cuffs while she smirked from the sidelines, her brother Tyler egging her on with that entitled laugh. And for what? So Mom could play perfect stepmom in their gated community, posting filtered pics on Instagram of blended family bliss, while I couch-surfed with strangers who smelled like weed and regret. That hook twisted deeper when I found the letters in her attic, months after I'd clawed my way back from rock bottom. Tucked behind insulation boards, yellowed envelopes from Richard's first wife, spilling the secret she'd buried. He'd dosed her with experimental antidepressants from his company's pipeline, off-books trials that fried her brain, turned her into a ghost who OD'd in their bathtub. Mom knew. She'd been his mistress, his alibi, whispering in boardrooms to cover the lawsuits, all while promising me we'd start fresh. But fresh meant me as the scapegoat, the troubled teen shipped off so his kids wouldn't whisper about the skeletons in Daddy's closet. I burned those letters in a Cleveland alley, the flames dancing like the devil's own confetti. And that's when I met Jax, ex-military hacker with a grudge against Big Pharma, peddling neural transference tech he'd lifted from a black site lab. "It's not magic, Clara," he'd rasped over burner phones, his voice gravel from too many smokes. "It's quantum entanglement bullshit they don't want you knowing. Swap your essence. Body stays the same, but you're driving the meat suit. 50 grand, I didn't have. But I pawned Grandma's heirlooms and hit up old marks from my petty theft days. Risky? Hell yes. But betrayal's a slow poison. Revenge is the antidote. No matter the vial." The swap happened in a dingy motel off I-71, Jax rigging electrodes to our temples like some Frankenstein fever dream, the air humming with ozone and the low buzz of his jury-rigged generator. Mom was there drugged, oblivious, flown in under the guise of a reconciliation lunch I'd faked via email hack. I watched her slump in the chair, her designer blouse rumpled, and felt a pang that wasn't mine, her guilt, flickering like static in my mind's eye, a side effect Jax warned about. "Echoes bleed over," he said, slapping the enter key. Pain lanced through me, white hot, like birthing a thunderstorm, and then nothing. Blackness. When I opened my eyes, I was her, Evelyn Marie Hargrove, 48 going on ageless. Gazing down at my own body, Clara's, slumped and vacant, her thrift store jeans caked in travel grime. Jax nodded, sweat beading on his brow. It's done. You got 12 hours before the link destabilizes. Make 'em count. He bundled my old shell into a van, bound for a safe house, while I slipped into her Tesla, the leather seats molding to hips wider than mine. Her phone buzzing with texts from Becca. Dinner at 7.
Mom.
Don't forget Tyler's game tickets.
Mom.
The word tasted like ash. Driving back to Willow Creek felt like piloting a ghost ship, her muscle memory kicking in. Cruise control humming at 72 on the interstate. Past billboards for Richard's latest pill. Serene start, because life's too short for the blues. Ironic. Coming from the man who'd scripted his wife's suicide. The house loomed at the cul-de-sac's end. Colonial revival. 3 stories of beige siding and black shutters. The kind of place that screamed success to nosy neighbors but hid rot in the foundation. I parked in the garage, smoothed her silk blouse, my hands now hers, veined and steady, and stepped inside to the scent of garlic and rosemary wafting from the kitchen. Becca, 16 and all cheekbones, glanced up from her phone, ponytail swinging like a metronome of disdain. You're late. Again. Tyler, 19 and built like a lacrosse god, lounged at the island, scrolling college apps, his jaw set in that Hargrove scowl. Whatever. Pass the wine.
Eve. Eve.
Not Mom. Never Mom to them, just Eve. The intruder who'd snagged their dad post-tragedy. I poured her favorite Cabernet, the bottle's weight familiar from stolen sips in my exile, and watched them, Becca's eyes darting to her reflection in the oven door, Tyler's foot jiggling with that Adderall twitch Richard denied prescribing. Rough drive? I asked, pitching my voice to her alto lilt, the one that cooed boardroom deals. They shrugged in unison, a twin reflex of indifference. Dinner unfolded like a bad sitcom, Becca prattling about cheer tryouts, Tyler grumbling over his 3.2 GPA, me nodding along, forks spearing asparagus, as if it were their throats. But inside, Clara's fire raged. You stole my place at this table. You little shits. Now watch me burn it down. The first move was subtle, a whisper in the dark. That night, after they crashed to Netflix marathons in the basement, I crept into Richard's study, her study now. Walls lined with first editions and framed patents, his scent of bay rum lingering like a threat. His laptop hummed on the desk. Password, Hargrove forever. Child's Play for Jax's backdoor I'd installed remotely. Files spilled open. Emails to lobbyists. Burying the trial data on those Serene Start precursors, the ones that melted synapses like butter. And there, buried in a subfolder labeled Personal, the kicker, ultrasound pics, dated 6 months before his wife's death.
Not hers, their nannies.
Richard had knocked her up, paid her off with hush money and a one-way ticket to Mexico, then dosed the wife to stabilize her breakdowns over the affair. Mom knew. Her replies, "We'll handle it, darling."
For us.
For us.
Not me.
Not the daughter she'd left to rot. I forwarded it all to an anonymous tip line, FDA whistleblowers. The kind that lit up CNN like fireworks. But that was the appetizer. The main course? Turning the kids against him. Slow-cooked resentment into a blaze. Next morning, over her oat milk lattes, I confessed to Becca in the sunroom, voice trembling just right. "Sweetie, Your father's. Pressuring me. About money. About leaving you too secure. But I can't let him touch the trust your mother left. Becca's eyes widened, that predatory gleam flickering. Hargrove blood. After all. What do you mean? Touch it. I leaned in. Her perfume, Chanel. Always Chanel, cloying the air. He's talking mergers. Folding it into his company's slush fund. I found papers. Lies. Layered on half-truths. But she bit hard. By lunch, she'd texted Tyler. Dad's screwing us over.
Talk to Eve.
Divide and conquer. American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Richard came home early that afternoon. His Brooks Brothers suit rumpled from a deposition dodge. Kissing her cheek with lips that tasted like mint over bourbon. Missed you.
Eve.
I smiled. Her smile. All teeth and no warmth. And handed him the mail, a plain envelope with a tip line's return stamp. Postmarked anonymous. His face drained. That pharma tan going sallow. What the hell is this? I feigned shock. Hand to throat, her pearl necklace cool against skin that itched with my soul. Richard? Is everything okay? He snatched it, ripping it open. Eyes scanning the printout. Excerpts from the files. Nanny's name redacted, but the dates screaming infidelity. You did this. Paranoia. His old friend. Courtesy of the coke he swore he'd quit. The argument erupted like a 4th of July finale, him pacing, veins bulging in his neck. Me shrinking back in fear, tears welling from ducts that weren't mine. I trusted you. After everything. Everything. Her covering his ass. Me taking the fall for Becca's theft to keep the peace. Upstairs. The kids eavesdropped. Becca's door creaking. Tyler's shadow under the hall light. By dinner. The fracture lines spiderwebbed, Tyler silent. Stabbing his steak, Becca picking at salad. Shooting Richard glares that could curdle milk. I excused myself early, her excuse. A migraine, and locked the master bath. Staring at the mirror again. 12 hours ticking down. Jax's voice echoing, Link's fraying. Get out. But I wasn't done. Not by half. The controversial call came at 2 a.m., her phone vibrating with a block number, mine, routed through Jax. In my old body, hidden in the woods behind the Hargrove 7 acres, I whispered into the receiver. Voice my own, raw and ragged. Mom? It's me. Clara. Silence. Then her gasp, my gasp, from the other end, the line crackling with static bleed, echoes of our shared panic. Clara? Oh God. What have you done? I laughed, bitter as black coffee. What I've done? You threw me away for them. For him. But now you're me. Trapped in this shell. Feeling every ache I carried. The cops are coming for the files I leaked. His empire's crumbling. And the kids, they're turning.
Mom.
On him. On you. Her sobs echoed, muffled by my old lips. Please, baby, swap back. I'll fix it. I'll leave him. Too late. The twist I'd planted. In the files. I'd woven her emails as the mastermind, her darling sign-offs painting her as the puppet master. FDA wouldn't care about nuance. Headlines would scream, Pharma wife's cover-up. Dawn broke gray over Willow Creek. Sirens wailing distant as Richard's lawyer scrambled calls. I slipped downstairs in her robe, silk whispering against legs that felt foreign, poured coffee black. Becca cornered me in the kitchen, eyes red-rimmed. Mom, Eve, Did Dad really try to steal Grandma's trust? I nodded. Slow. Her nod of feigned sorrow. And your real mom. Clara. She knew about the other woman, didn't she? That's why she hated us.
Hatred?
Try survival. But I let the seed root. She tried to warn me. But I was blind. Chasing the dream. Becca hugged me then, awkward, teenage limbs, and whispered, "We'll get a lawyer. For the four of us. The four of us. Me out. Them in." Poetic. In a twisted stars and stripes way. Tyler cracked, next. Over breakfast burritos he'd microwaved, his attempt at normalcy. Cops called. Some leak about Dad's old trials. The ones that killed Mom. His voice broke on the word. And her reached across, squeezing his hand, feeling the echo of my own abandonment in his grip. We fight this together. As family.
Family.
The word she'd weaponized against me. By noon, Richard stormed in, face thunderous, cuffing Tyler's shoulder too hard. "You believe this shit? Your stepmom's playing us." Tyler shrugged him off, eyes narrowing, manhood dawning in the shadow of betrayal. "Step? She's more mom than you deserve." The climax hit like a Midwest twister, press vans clogging the cul-de-sac. Reporters shouting questions as Richard barricaded the door. His empire's facade cracking live on Fox affiliate. Inside, chaos reigned, Becca screaming into her phone at a PI. Tyler pacing with a baseball bat like it could fend off subpoenas. I watched from the bay window. Her body a perfect perch. Heart pounding with my rhythm now. The link fraying into sparks behind my eyes. Mom's essence stirred. Faint pleas in my skull. "Clara. Stop. I love you." Love? The kind that kicks your kid to the curb?
No.
I dialed Jax from her burner app. Coordinates sent. Extraction in 10. But first, the kill shot. I gathered them in the living room, leather sectional sagging under Hargrove weight, her voice steady as I laid it bare. Richard's poison isn't just pills. It's us. He dosed our past, buried secrets to build this. I slid the nanny's ultrasound across the coffee table. Anonymous now, but damning. Becca gasped, hand to mouth. Tyler retched into a ficus pot. Richard burst and then, wild-eyed, spotting the photo. "You bitch. You leaked it." He lunged, hands around my throat. But Tyler tackled him. Father and son rolling across Persian rug in a tangle of curses and flying coasters. Becca dialed 911, sobbing. "My dad's attacking my mom, plural possessive." The knife twist. Cops swarmed, cuffs clicking on Richard's wrists as he spat venom. "She's not your mom. She's a fraud." But they didn't listen. Eve Hargrove, grieving widow-to-be, the victim in silk and pearls. As they hauled him away, sirens dopplering into the afternoon haze. I felt the link snap, a rubber band twanging in my brain. Pain bloomed, vision tunneling, and suddenly I was back, Clara, in my battered body, slumped in Jax's, been a mile out. The Hargrove house shrinking in the rear view. Mom? Trapped still. Echoes fading. Her consciousness rebounding into void as the tech collapsed. Or so Jack said. One-way ticket.
Kid.
That's the price. Weeks blurred. Headlines screamed pharma scandal. XX double life exposed. Mom's face, my face for a night, plastered beside Richard's mugshot. Her confession emails fueling the fire. Becca and Tyler sued, claiming emotional duress. Splitting the trust four ways. Wait. 3 now, with Richard's share seized. Mom? She vanished into witness protection. Whispers of a breakdown. Therapy in some coastal clinic where waves drowned regrets. Last I heard, she wrote letters, dozens, postmarked Miami, begging forgiveness, promising the kids inheritance if I'd just call. I burned them. Same alley. Same flames. Do I regret it? Hell. That's the debate. Isn't it? I stole her skin. Orchestrated the fall. Left her hollowed out in a life she built on my bones. The kids? They hate her now. The traitor, who sold out their dad. But they reached out once, Becca's hesitant DM. Clara? We get it. Sort of. Wanna meet? Power's a drug. Deadlier than Richard's pills. I avenged the girl I was. But at what cost? Mom's a ghost. Family fractured like cheap china. Happy ending? Or just another American tragedy? Where revenge tastes sweet until you choke on the aftertaste. You tell me. I'm still deciding. The fallout settled like fallout does in these parts, slow, choking dust that coats your lungs and lingers in the cracks. I holed up in Jax's Cleveland crash pad, a third-floor walk-up above a dive bar called Rusty Anchor, where the jukebox spun Springsteen on loop and the regulars nursed Bud Lights like old wounds. My body felt alien after the swap, joints aching from years of manual labor I hadn't done. Scars on my knuckles from bar fights that were hers now. Faint and faded. Echoes. Jax called them. Residual neural ghosts that made me crave her kale smoothies at odd hours or hum show tunes under my breath. Give it a week, he grunted over takeout lo mein, his tattooed arms flexing as he cracked a fortune cookie. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Bullshit. Yours began with a taser to the temple. He was right, the tech was bootleg. A Frankenstein hack of DARPA scraps he'd fenced from a whistleblower auction.
No reversals. No do-overs.
Mom was adrift in limbo. Her mind a scrambled egg in a shell that moved on autopilot. Therapists chalking it up to dissociative fugue from the scandal stress. I kept tabs via dark web scrapers Jack set up, feeds from Willow Creek busybodies on Nextdoor. Grainy bodycam footage of Richard's arrest looping on YouTube true crime channels. The cuffs had bitten deep into his wrists. That silk tie noose tightening as feds swarmed the house, seizing servers and shredding his alibis. Obstruction of justice. Manslaughter in the first, the talking heads droned, but the real venom was in the civil suits, widows from those off-books trials, banding together under class action banners. Their stories a litany of lost jobs, shattered homes, kids hooked on the very pills meant to fix them. Richard's empire crumbled faster than a house of cards in a windstorm, stock plummeting 40% overnight. Board ousting him in an emergency Zoom call that leaked like a sieve. And Mom, Eve, the ice queen of mergers, branded accomplice. Her emails dissected on Dateline specials as chilling evidence of spousal complicity. But the kids? That was the slow burn. The controversial ember I'd fanned into inferno. Becca dropped cheer. Holed up with therapy dogs and a lawyer who looked like a greased ferret. Her Insta going dark save for cryptoquotes. Blood makes you related. Loyalty makes you family. Tyler deferred college. Took a gig slinging lattes at the local Starbucks. Irony thick as foam, his lacrosse dreams deferred to family obligations. They sold the McMansion in a fire sale, pocketing half after liens, and relocated to a condo downtown. The kind with exposed brick and craft breweries on every corner. United against the parents who'd poisoned the well. Against her.
Me?
I watched from afar. A shadow in dive bar booths, nursing Ginger Alesh and plotting the next layer. Revenge isn't a sprint. It's a marathon through moral quicksand, every step sucking at your boots. The first crack in their armor came via certified mail. 6 weeks post-swap, a manila envelope fat with legalese. Addressed to Clara Voss. Care of last known. Voss, my dad's name. The one she'd scrubbed from our lives like a stain. Inside, a check for $50K. Scrawled in Becca's looping script on the memo. For the necklace. And more. Attached note. Folded crisp. We pieced it together. The shoplifting? Your mom's idea?
No. Eve's.
She made you take the fall. We're sorry. The trust split 3 ways now. Dad's gone.
Eve's.
Wherever. This is yours. Come see us?
Sorry.
The word hung like smoke. Acrid and insubstantial. I'd framed that theft as my rebellion. But truth was Mom's directive. Keep it quiet.
Clara.
Richard's image. Image over blood. I cashed the check, bills to pay. Jax's consulting fee looming. But the invite? That nod. A hook in my gut. Jax scoffed when I showed him. Sprawled on the sagging couch with a laptop balanced on his beer gut. Trap.
Kid.
Or pity porn. Either way, you wade in. You drown. He wasn't wrong. Trust's a fragile thing in America. Especially when it's been franchised into step-whatevers. But the echoes amped up. Flashes of Mom's memories bleeding through. Becca's 8th birthday. Pony rides and cakes smeared on chubby cheeks. Tyler's first goal. Richard's roar from the bleachers drowning her quiet pride. Not mine. But they stung. Blurring the lines between villain and victim. Was I avenging Clara? Or punishing Evelyn's regrets? The debate raged in sleepless nights. Rain pattering the fire escape like accusatory fingers. I went anyway. Neutral ground, a diner off Route 8. Vinyl booths cracked like old skin. The air thick with grease and percolator burn. Becca arrived first. Ponytail traded for a messy bun. Eyes shadowed under concealer that couldn't hide the hollows. Tyler trailed. Slouched in a hoodie 2 sizes too big. His frame whittled by skipped meals. Clara, Becca breathed. Sliding into the booth. Her hand hovering like she might touch mine but thought better. You look. The same. Same. As if the swap hadn't carved canyons in my soul. Tyler grunted. Menu up like a shield.
Heard about the leak.
Ballsy. Dad's rotting in county. Lawyered up but sinking fast. We ordered pancakes for her. Eggs over easy for him. Black coffee for me, and the dam broke. Becca first. Voice pitching high. Eve, your mom, she confessed stuff before she
Glitched.
About the affair. The nanny. Said you covered for her. Took hits meant for us.
Hits.
The theft. The lies to Dad. The endless be nice to your stepsibs lectures that masked her climb. Tyler nodded. Fork-spearing yolk like an eye. And the pills? Mom, our real mom, she wasn't suicidal. Dad tested them on her. Said it was helping. Eve knew. Pushed the cover story. Knew.
Pushed.
The words landed like punches. But I absorbed them. Clara's armor cracking under Evelyn's ghosts. Why now? I asked. Stirring sugar I didn't need. The spoon clinking judgment. Becca's eyes welled. Mascara threatening rivers. Because we're broken too. The house. The money. It's tainted. We want to make it right. For you.
Right.
As if restitution could unkick the daughter to the curb. But Tyler slid a folder across. Trust docs. Notarized. Carving me in for $200K more. Reparations for undue hardship. Undue. The understatement of the year. I flipped pages. Legalese blurring with the diner's fluorescent hum, and felt the twist coil tighter, the one I'd engineered. Now boomeranging. That's when the controversial decision hit. Invite them back to the crash pad. Expose the swap's underbelly. Not the full tech confession. That'd land us in black vans with no plates, but enough to bond the fractures. You think Eve's gone? I said, voice low over the sizzle of hash browns. She's not. The scandal broke her, but she's fighting in therapy, spilling more to the feds. About Richard. About me. Lies again. Layered sweet. But they bought it. Eyes lighting with that sibling fire I'd ignited. Becca reached then. Hand on mine. Warm and tentative. Then we fight too.
With you. We.
The word she denied me, now proffered like a truce flag. Jax wasn't thrilled when they piled in that night, the walk-up reeking of takeout and solder fumes from his latest gadget. Family reunion? In my safe house. But he played host, cracking jokes about Hargrove takedowns over pizza, his cynicism thawing under Tyler's lacrosse tales. Becca sketched floor plans for a fresh start condo share, me included. Rent split 4 ways if we could swing it. 4 echoes of the dinner table. But inverted, no Richard. No Eve's shadow. Just us. The discards. Forging something from the ash. Sleep came fitful. Their snores from the pullout mingling with rain. My mind replaying the swap's aftershocks. Mom's voice. Faint in dreams. Clara. They're mine now. You were always the spare.
Spare.
The betrayal's core. Rotten as week-old fruit. But dawn brought clarity. Harsh as diner coffee, revenge's endgame isn't destruction, it's reclamation. I woke them early. Jack's brewing sludge-strong Joe. One more play, I said, sliding my phone across. Leaked audio, Mom's confession, recorded during the swap's haze. Her drugged ramblings about the nanny payoff. Richard's dosing. Drop this to the podcasters. The ones chasing pharma ghosts. It buries him for good. They hesitated. Becca's finger hovering over send. The moral Rubicon. Controversial as hell. Betray the woman who raised them. Even if she was a fraud. Tyler nodded first. Jaw set. For our mom. The real one.
Click.
The file winged into the ether. Viraling by lunch. Bombshell audio. Pharma heir's wife exposes murder plot. Richard's bail denied. Headlines twisting like vines. Mom? Her fugue deepened. Transferred to a psych ward upstate. Whispers of catatonia. A mind unmoored. We drove south that afternoon. The 4 of us crammed in Jax's rust bucket Chevy. Windows down to whip away the weight. Becca blasted Taylor Swift, ironic anthems of bad blood, while Tyler mapped pit stops on his phone.
Me? You rode shotgun.
Wind tangling my hair. Feeling the echoes fade. Clara's pulse steady at last. Happy? Not yet. But whole. Maybe. In the wreckage we'd claimed. Or so I thought. The twist lurked in a voicemail. Buzzing as we crossed into Kentucky. Unknown number. Mom's voice. Fractured but fierce. Clara? It's me. The swap. It's stuck partial. I feel you in here. Echoes and all.
Come get me.
Or I'll tell them everything, the tech, the lies. Your choice. Reversed. The truth. Inverted like a funhouse mirror. She'd clawed back enough to weaponize it. Her betrayal's final gasp. Debate reignited. Save her. Or let the ghosts haunt. The voicemail looped in my skull like a bad country ballad. Mom's voice. Hoarse. Laced with that Midwestern twang she'd picked up post-divorce, warping the road noise into white static. We'd pulled over at a Cracker Barrel off I-75. The parking lot a sea of RVs and families in matching tees. The air sweet with waffle cones and exhaust. Becca and Tyler scarfed biscuits and gravy inside, oblivious. Their laughter filtering through the checkered curtains like a lifeline I wasn't sure I deserved. Jack's chain-smoked by the tailgate, his Zippo flicking shadows across his scarred knuckles. She's bluffing, he muttered, exhaling a dragon plume. Partial stick? That's myth.
Kid.
Brains don't half-ass quantum jumps. But doubt nod. Same as it did in those Cleveland nights. What if the echoes weren't fading, but fusing? What if I'd handed her the keys to my cage? I played it again. Volume low. Clara? It's me. The swap. It's stuck partial. I feel you in here. Echoes and all.
Come get me.
Or I'll tell them everything, the tech, the lies. Your choice. Her choice? After years of hers dictating my exile, the diner hummed with silverware clinks and drawled orders. 2 all-stars. Hold the hash, a slice of heartland normalcy that mocked our mess. Becca emerged first. Styrofoam cup steaming. Her bun unraveling like her composure. You okay? Look like you saw a ghost.
Ghost. Apt.
Tyler flanked her. Thumbs hooked in jeans pockets. That lacrosse build slouched against teen angst. Dad's appeal tanked. Audio's everywhere, Fox even. Pride flickered in his eyes. Our shared sabotage a bond forged in Hargrove fire. I pocketed the phone, forcing Clara's smile, crooked. Survivor's grit. Just. Loose ends. Eve's stirring shit from the ward. Half-truth. The controversial lubricant. They exchanged glances. Siblings shorthand-eyed envied from afar. Let her, Becca said. Fierce now. The cheer captain resurfacing.
She chose this.
We choose us.
Us.
The words sealed it. No more solos in the revenge opera. We piled back in. Jack sgunning the engine with a growl. And hit the bluegrass highway. Nashville lights beckoning like fool's gold. But Mom's threat coiled. A rattlesnake in my boot. Forcing the decision I dodged since the swap. Confront the betrayer. Or cut the cord and damn the fallout. The drive south stretched elastic. Pit stops blurring into a montage of truck stop tacos and gas station coffee. Jack's regaling the kids with tall tales of Black Ops heists, snuck into Langley once. Swapped the director's coffee with decaf. Whole agency twitched for weeks. They ate it up. Becca sketching comic panels on napkins. Tyler grilling him on crypto scams like a budding mogul.
Me?
I nursed the rear view, half expecting sirens or her face in every passing semi. Echoes amped under stress. Flashes of her boardroom battles. Richard's hand on her knee under oak tables. The day she'd signed my eviction. Pen trembling but resolute. For the best.
Clara.
You'll thank me. Thank her? For the hostels where roaches danced on dollar bills. The jobs flipping burgers while she sipped Rosa Gallus? We crashed in Nashville that night. A Airbnb shotgun house in East. Murals splashing color on shotgun walls. The hum of honky-donks vibrating the floorboards. Becca claimed the clawfoot tub for a bubble bath detox. Tyler geeked out over vinyl at a thrift shop down the block. Hauling back a stack of Johnny Cash for road trip vibes. Jax and I split a 6-pack on the porch swing. fireflies winking like conspirators. You gotta end it, he said, cracking a twist off. Ward address is public, scandal fodder. Goin' quiet. Dose her with the reverser. Reverser?
His ace.
A vial of neural blockers he'd cooked up in the crash pad lab, untested as moonshine. Or what? She spills to the kids. Feds trace the tech. We're all in Supermax playing house with cartels. Cartels. The American dream's dark underbelly, where revenge meets reality TV justice. I nodded, but sleep evaded, tossing on a futon that smelled of patchouli and regret. Dreams bled hybrid, my hands, hers, shoving the duffel bag into Teamy's arms. Rain slicking Willow Creek streets, Becca's ultrasound. Not the nannies. A phantom pregnancy Mom had terminated in secret, fearing Richard's wrath. Waking sweat-soaked, I scrolled the ward site, Glenwood Pines. A low-security psych joint outside Chattanooga. Holistic healing in the Pines. Admission logs public for transparency. Evelyn Hargrove. Room 214. Voluntary commit. Diagnosis: acute stress disorder. Voluntary. As if. Dawn cracked humid. The house stirring to bacon sizzle. Tyler's attempt at breakfast. Eggs charred but earnest. Over plates balanced on knees. The debate ignited. Casual as coffee refills. What if we visit her? Becca ventured. Scrolling news on her phone. Confront. Like a family intervention. Air the shit. Move on. Tyler snorted, but his eyes softened. Yeah. Or she plays victim again. Poor Eve. Betrayed by Steps. No thanks.
Steps.
The label she'd slapped on me. Now flipped. I weighed it. Fork midway. Mercy tour. Or executioner's visit. Controversial calculus. Forgive the monster who birthed you. Or slay it and inherit the void. We voted democracy. American style. 3-1, confront. Jax dissented, muttering about amateur hour, but drove us east anyway. The Chevy's AC wheezing against mountain heat. Chattanooga sprawled lazy. The Tennessee River snaking silver under Lookout Mountain shadow. Glenwood loomed on a hillside, low-slung brick with manicured lawns and therapy circles under oaks, less asylum, more spa for the shattered elite. Sign-in dragged, ID checks. Badons. A nurse with a name tag, Hope, eyeing my duffel like contraband. Visitor hours end at 4. No gifts.
Hope.
Ironic. Room 214 smelled of antiseptic and lavender sachets, the kind Mom favored for calming auras. She sat by the window, back to us, in a robe too big for her frame, my frame, once, gazing at pines that whispered wind secrets. The swap's toll showed, hair unwashed, roots dark against blonde dye, skin sallow, Botox frozen in rictus calm. Evelyn. The nurse prompted, but she turned slow, eyes locking mine, Clara's eyes in her face, but fractured, pupils dilating like faulty lenses. Clara. Not a question. A hiss. The kids froze in the doorway, Becca clutching Tyler's sleeve. You came. With them. Her gaze raked them. Possessive flicker dying quick. My children.
My.
The hook yanked taut. I stepped forward, voice steady. Your echoes called. Said you'd spill if I didn't. She laughed, brittle as autumn leaves.
Spill. Oh.
Honey, it's all spilling now. The audio? You're doing. The feds want me tomorrow, full deposition. Richard's pleading manslaughter, naming me co-conspirator.
But you.
You swapped us. Quantum voodoo. Courtesy of your gutter genius. She nodded at Jax, lurking hull-shadowed. I remember it all.
The pain.
Waking in your body. Motel stink and betrayal rage. I drove north. Ditched it in a junkyard. Jax's van? Tracked the plates. Felt your fire. Clara. Borrowed it. Becca gasped, stepping in. Mom? What the hell? Mom for her? The word a grenade. Evelyn's her, smile twisted. Not your mom. Becca.
Eve.
The climber who stole your dad. Buried your real one. But Clara? She took the fall for my sins. The theft? My idea. Distraction for Richard's deal. The letters? I hid them to protect us. All of us.
Us.
The lies lattice.
Crumbling.
Tyler advanced. Fists balled. You let Dad kill her. Our mom. Evelyn's eyes welled. My tears?
No.
I loved her too. Once. Friend before mistress. But Richard. Power's a drug. I chose it. For the life. For you too. The room tilted. Confessions cascading like dominoes. She'd partial swapped back. Jax's tech unstable. Her mind hopping bodies like a flea on a hot griddle. Felt my exile. The hunger pangs. The nights questioning worth. I get it now, she whispered. Reaching, hand trembling. The betrayal. Deep as marrow. But revenge?
It hollows you.
Clara. Look at us. Family in fragments. Fragments. The truth reversed. Not just her sins. But mine the swap. A mirror to her climb. Stealing skins to claim thrones. The climax crested soft.
No sirens.
Just sobs. Becca collapsing beside the bed. Tyler's arm around her. Jax slipping the vial into my palm. Reverser? Or poison? Controversial end. Mercy kill the echo. Or let it linger. A shared haunting? Choose, she echoed her voicemail. Eyes pleading. I uncapped. Liquid clear as regret. For the girl I was. For the one you buried. One drop on her tongue, bitter. Like truth. Her body seized. Then stilled. Eyes clearing to pure Evelyn. Echoes silenced. Thank you, she breathed. Hand squeezing mine. Now fix it. With them. We left her to the nurse's bustle. Episode over. The Pines sighing relief. Outside. The kids flanked me, Becca linking arms. Tyler clapping shoulder. What now? He asked. River glinting below.
Now?
Nashville Redux. But rooted. Community college for me. Art gigs for Becca. Coaching for Tyler. Jax tagging along. Uncle in the chaos. Mom stabilized. Deposition damning Richard for life. Her plea deal light. Community service. Therapy circles. Letters resumed. Not begging. But amends. Recipes clipped from magazines. Sorries in margins. Happy? Tragic? The debate lingers. Porch swings and bonfires where we hash it. Was the swap justice or just another betrayal? I avenged, but in reclaiming, forgave her.
Them.
The girl kicked to curbs. America's tense tapestry, dark threads weaving light, controversial cuts mending hems. Regret?
Nah.
Just the rhythm of roads untaken. Echoing faint,